Imagine walking into a room, but no one acknowledges you. You speak, but no one listens. You help others, but they still don't respect you. If this sounds familiar, it's because respect isn't just given, it's earned. And the sad truth is, some habits silently destroy the respect people have for you. In this video, I'll reveal the most damaging habits that keep people from respecting you, and if you don't remove them, you'll always be overlooked, underestimated, and dismissed. So stick around, because these are the habits that could be ruining your life without you even realizing it. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to command respect and build unshakable confidence. Now let's get into it. 1. Being too nice. Imagine this. You always say yes. Yes to extra work, yes to favors, yes to plans you don't even want to be part of. You think being nice will make people appreciate you, but instead they take advantage of you. They see you as a convenience, not as a person. You become the one they call when they need something, but the moment you need help, silence. No one shows up for you. The harsh reality is, the more you put others before yourself, the more they take you for granted. It starts small. Someone asks for a favor, and you agree, even if it's inconvenient. Then they ask again, and again, and suddenly you're trapped in a cycle where you feel obligated to say yes, even when it drains you. Why? Because you're afraid of disappointing them. You fear that if you refuse, they'll be upset. Or worse, they'll stop liking you. But let me tell you this. Respect doesn't come from always being available. It comes from knowing your worth and setting boundaries. When you can't say no, people stop valuing your time. They assume you'll always be there, no matter what. And when something or someone is always available, it loses its value. That's why the people who command the most respect are the ones who stand their ground. They aren't afraid to refuse things that don't serve them. Think about the most respected people in your life. Do they say yes to everything? Do they let people walk all over them? Number. They prioritize their time, their energy, and their own well-being. They help others, but only when it aligns with their own values and limits. They are not afraid of saying, "No, I can't do that," or "I have other priorities." And guess what? People respect them more because of it. Now, I want you to ask yourself, how many times have you done something just to please someone, even when you didn't want to? How many times have you felt exhausted, drained, and even frustrated because you kept saying yes when your heart was screaming no? This is your wake-up call. Being kind is a strength, but being a pushover is a weakness. If you want respect, stop bending over backward for everyone. Start standing up for yourself. The next time someone asks for something that you truly don't want to do, practice saying no. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to feel guilty. And trust me, when you start respecting yourself, the world will follow. 2. Talking too much. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone just won't stop talking? They go on and on, jumping from one topic to another, barely pausing for a breath. At first, you might listen out of politeness, but after a while, their words start to lose meaning. You nod absent-mindedly, waiting for them to finish, but deep down, you've already stopped listening. Now, here's the harsh truth. You might be that person, and you don't even realize it. People who talk too much often believe they are being engaging, interesting, or even impressive, but in reality, they are doing the opposite. They overwhelm others with words, leaving no room for mystery, impact, or respect. The more you talk without substance, the less people take your words seriously, and over time, they start tuning you out entirely. Think about the most powerful and respected individuals you know. Do they constantly fill the room with chatter? No, they choose their words carefully. They speak with intention. And most importantly, they listen more than they talk. When they do speak, people lean in, eager to hear what they have to say, because their words carry weight. But when you talk too much, when you interrupt, when you overshare personal details or repeat yourself, you dilute your own influence. You become background noise. Worse, people might start avoiding deep conversations with you because they know you won't let them get a word in. And let's talk about oversharing for a moment. There's nothing wrong with being open, but revealing too much too soon can actually make people lose respect for you. Imagine meeting someone and within minutes, they're telling you their deepest secrets, their financial struggles, or their family drama. Instead of drawing you closer, it creates discomfort. You wonder, why are they telling me this? Or, can I really trust someone who spills everything so easily? Here's the extreme reality. Every time you speak, you are either gaining respect or losing it. If you talk endlessly without purpose, if you interrupt, if you dominate conversations, you are unknowingly pushing people away. But if you master the art of restraint, if you speak less but say more, you will command attention and admiration effortlessly. So the next time you're in a conversation, pause before you speak. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this meaningful? Will this add value? And most importantly, listen, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. 3. Seeking approval. Have you ever caught yourself hesitating before making a decision, waiting for someone else to tell you it's the right choice? Maybe you constantly ask, is this okay? Or, do you think I should do this? You second-guess yourself, needing reassurance before you move forward. At first, it might seem harmless. After all, what's wrong with seeking advice or confirmation? But over time, this habit silently destroys your confidence and the respect people have for you. Let's be brutally honest. When you constantly seek approval, you are telling the world one thing: I don't trust myself. And if you don't trust yourself, why should anyone else? The more you rely on others to validate your decisions, the more they start seeing you as weak, indecisive, and dependent. Instead of viewing you as a leader, they see you as someone who needs to be led, and respect. That starts to disappear. Think about the people you admire the most. Are they the ones who hesitate at every turn, waiting for someone else to give them permission? Or are they the ones who make decisions with certainty, who trust their instincts, who take action without needing approval from the world? True confidence isn't about always being right. It's about having the courage to decide, act, and own the outcome, whether it's success or failure. Now, here's where it gets extreme. Seeking approval isn't just about small decisions. It affects your entire life. If you're always waiting for permission, you will never take the risks necessary to grow. You will never start that business, never pursue that dream, never take control of your own destiny. Because instead of listening to yourself, you're always asking, what will people think? And the moment you let the opinions of others dictate your actions, you have given away your power. Let me ask you, how many times have you held back from doing something just because you were afraid of what others might say? How many times have you changed your mind just because someone else didn't approve? And here's the most painful part. Do you think those people you're trying so hard to impress actually care as much as you think they do? No. People are too focused on their own lives to obsess over your every decision. If you want to be respected, if you want to be seen as someone who stands strong, you need to break free from this approval-seeking trap. Start making decisions without asking for permission. Trust yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Stop waiting for validation, because the moment you do, you'll realize something powerful. The only approval you ever needed was your own. 4th, not keeping promises. Imagine this. You're in a tough spot, and someone promises to help. They look you in the eye, assure you they'll be there, and you believe them. But when the time comes, they're nowhere to be found. No message, no call, just silence. How does that make you feel? Angry, betrayed, disappointed? One thing is for sure, you will never see that person the same way again. Now, here's the truth that most people don't realize. Respect is built on trust, and trust is built on reliability. The moment you break your word, even once, you plant a seed of doubt in people's minds. And once that seed is planted, it grows. People start questioning everything you say. Will they really show up? Can I really count on them? They may not confront you directly, but deep down, they have already lost faith in you. And the worst part? Once trust is broken, it is almost impossible to fully repair. Even if people forgive you, they will always remember that moment when you let them down. It lingers in their mind, creating a barrier that is difficult to remove. Now think about how this affects your own reputation. If you constantly make promises and don't follow through, you are unknowingly branding yourself as unreliable. People may still smile at you, they may still talk to you, but they will never truly respect you. They won't depend on you for anything important. You will be seen as someone whose words mean nothing. Let's take it to an extreme level. Imagine two versions of yourself. One version is someone who does exactly what they say every single time. If you promise something, you deliver. If you say you'll be there, you show up. If you commit to something, you see it through to the end. What kind of respect do you think this version of you would have? People would trust you. They would see you as strong, reliable, and worthy of admiration. Now imagine the other version, the one who always has an excuse, the one who cancels at the last minute, who forgets promises, who doesn't take commitments seriously. What do you think people would say about this version of you? Would they trust you with something important? Would they rely on you in difficult times? Absolutely not. The truth is, breaking promises isn't just about letting others down. It's about destroying your own credibility. Every time you fail to follow through, you make it harder for people to take you seriously. And once you lose that respect, it is incredibly difficult to earn it back. So, what's the solution? It's simple. Do what you say. If you promise something, deliver, no matter what. And if you're not sure you can keep a promise, don't make it in the first place. Respect isn't about grand gestures, it's about consistency. If you want to be respected, be the person whose word is as strong as stone, the person who, when they say something, people believe it without a second thought. Because in the end, your reputation is only as strong as your reliability. And if you lose that, you lose everything. 5. Acting desperate for attention. Have you ever met someone who always needs to be the center of attention? They talk the loudest, exaggerate their stories, and go out of their way to make sure people notice them. At first, they might seem confident, even entertaining, but over time, something starts to feel off. Their need for validation becomes too obvious, too desperate. And instead of gaining respect, they slowly lose it, without even realizing it. Here's the harsh reality. The more you chase attention, the less people respect you. True confidence is silent. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't beg for recognition. But desperation, that's loud, that's needy. And worst of all, it's a sign of insecurity. Think about it. If you constantly boast about your achievements, what does that say about you? If you were truly confident, you wouldn't need to announce your greatness to the world. You would simply be great, and others would recognize it on their own. But when you exaggerate, when you always try to prove yourself, you are silently telling people, "I don't believe I'm enough, so I need you to believe it for me." And let's take it to an extreme level. Look at history. The most powerful, most respected figures never begged for attention. They carried themselves with quiet authority. Their actions spoke louder than their words. But the ones who craved attention, they were always overcompensating, always chasing the spotlight, always desperate for approval. And what happened to them? People saw through the act. They lost respect. Now, let's bring it back to real life. Have you ever been around someone who constantly interrupts conversations just to redirect the focus onto themselves? Or someone who brags non-stop about their success, their wealth, their intelligence, just to impress others? Instead of admiration, they often trigger the opposite reaction: annoyance, doubt, and even pity. Because deep down, people can sense the desperation. And the more you force respect, the less you receive it. Here's a truth that can change your life. If you have real value, people will see it without you having to scream for attention. The strongest people don't need to announce their strength. The smartest people don't need to constantly prove their intelligence. And the most respected people don't need to demand respect. It's given to them naturally. So, if you've ever felt the need to prove yourself, stop. If you've ever exaggerated a story to sound more impressive, stop. If you've ever done something just to get recognition, ask yourself, why do I need this? Do I not already know my worth? Because the truth is, when you truly know your worth, you don't chase attention, you attract it. And that's the difference between being respected and being ignored. 6. Avoiding responsibility. Have you ever met someone who always has an excuse for everything? Nothing is ever their fault. If they fail, it's because someone else held them back. If they make a mistake, it's because of circumstances beyond their control. If they don't succeed, it's because the world is unfair. These people live in a constant state of victimhood, and the more they play this game, the more respect they lose, until no one takes them seriously anymore. Let's be real. Life is tough. Bad things happen. People betray you. Circumstances can be unfair. But here's what separates the weak from the strong. Strong people take responsibility. Weak people make excuses. And respect, it only goes to those who have the courage to own up to their actions. Think about this. When something goes wrong, do you instantly blame someone else? Do you find reasons why it wasn't your fault? Maybe it was your boss, your parents, the economy, or just bad luck. But deep down, ask yourself, is this really true? Or am I just avoiding responsibility? Because here's the truth. No one respects a person who always plays the victim. Now, let's take this to an extreme level. Imagine two people in the same situation. Both lose their jobs unexpectedly. One immediately starts blaming the company, the economy, and bad luck. They sit at home, complaining about how unfair life is, waiting for someone to fix it for them. The other person, they take a deep breath, accept what happened, and start taking action. They update their resume, learn new skills, and find another way forward. Which of these two people do you respect? The one who drowns in self-pity, or the one who takes control of their future? The answer is obvious. And here's the dangerous part. When you constantly avoid responsibility, you become stuck. You stop growing. You stop improving. Why? Because in your mind, nothing is ever your fault, so there's nothing to fix. And when you don't fix yourself, people stop respecting you. They see you as weak, unreliable, and incapable of handling life's challenges. But the moment you take responsibility, everything changes. Even if you fail, people will still respect you because they see you as strong, honest, and accountable. They know they can count on you because you don't run from problems. You face them. So the choice is yours. Do you want to be seen as a weak, powerless victim, or as someone who takes charge, owns their life, and commands respect? If you truly want people to respect you, stop blaming, stop complaining, and start owning your actions. Because the moment you do, you stop being a victim and you start becoming unstoppable. 7. Letting people disrespect you. Respect is not given freely. It is earned. And one of the fastest ways to lose it is by allowing people to walk all over you. If you let others insult you, take advantage of you, or ignore your needs, they will never respect you. Why? Because when you tolerate disrespect, you are silently telling the world, "I don't value myself, so why should you?" Let's be brutally honest. People will treat you exactly how you allow them to. If someone crosses a line and you let it slide, they'll do it again. If they make fun of you and you laugh it off, they'll push it further next time. If they take advantage of your kindness and you keep giving, they will keep taking. And before you know it, you've become a doormat, someone who is tolerated but never truly respected. Now, let's take this to an extreme level. Imagine you're at work and a colleague constantly interrupts you, dismisses your ideas, or takes credit for your efforts. At first, you ignore it. You tell yourself, "It's not a big deal," or "I don't want to create conflict." But over time, it happens again and again. Others start noticing it too. And soon, it's not just one person treating you this way, it's everyone. Because you never demanded respect, so they never gave it to you. Or think about personal relationships. If you have a friend, partner, or family member who always puts you down, makes rude comments, or disregards your feelings, and you keep letting it happen, what message are you sending? You are telling them it's okay to treat me this way. And guess what? They will keep doing it. But the moment you set boundaries, everything changes. The first time you stand up for yourself, people may be shocked. They might even get angry. Why? Because they were comfortable disrespecting you, and now you're taking back your power. But here's what's important. If you don't tolerate disrespect, people have no choice but to respect you or leave, and that's the truth. Some people will leave when you set boundaries, and that's a good thing. Because anyone who gets angry when you demand respect was never truly your friend, your supporter, or your ally. They were just benefiting from your silence. So how do you start commanding respect? You stop allowing disrespect. You say no when something crosses the line. You speak up when someone tries to undermine you. You walk away from relationships where you are not valued. You make it clear through your words and actions that you are not someone to be taken lightly. And here's the real secret. Once you start respecting yourself, others will follow. Because when people see that you have standards, they will either rise to meet them or they will disappear. Either way, you win. As we conclude, these habits are silent destroyers of respect. If you don't remove them, you'll always be treated as unimportant. But the good news? You can change that starting today. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful insights on self-improvement. And tell me in the comments, which of these habits have you struggled with the most? Let's talk about it. Remember, respect isn't given, it's built. And it starts with you.